Want to master ACT in 2025, but you don't know where to start? This video is a step-by-step guide in learning acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. Whether you're just hearing about it, or you're trying to utilize it in sessions, or you're wanting to let colleagues and clients know more about it, this video is designed to teach you the ins and outs of ACT. Now, my name is Sean Hardy, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I love teaching ACT. So if you're a mental health professional or a graduate student, and you're looking to see if ACT is right for you, or if you're someone who's thinking of using ACT either personally or professionally, this video is for you. Wherever you're at in your ACT journey, this video is designed to be easy, accessible, and digestible, helping you to take the next step towards mastering ACT. Allow me to take you from introduction to implementation of ACT using the official ACT training resource, Learning ACT, by Jason Luoma, Stephen Hayes, and Robyn Walser. Resource links and downloads will be available in the description below, so make sure you check those out. I'd like to start with introducing ACT with using a poem that encompasses the problem that ACT solves, which is psychological suffering. Whenever Richard Corey went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean, favored, and imperially slim. And he was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But he still fluttered pulses when he said, "Good morning," and he glittered when he walked. And he was rich, yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grace. In fine, we thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. So on we worked and waited for the light, and went without meat and cursed the bread. And Richard Corey, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head. It's impossible to construct a human life untouched by suffering. In Robyn's poem, he powerfully illustrates that every day, people who seem to have everything in their lives because they could no longer bear the weight of their pain. Like all species, humans face loss, unexpected upsets, and physical pain. But unlike other species, we add layers of suffering through our ability to think, analyze, and ruminate, carrying our pain far beyond the original experience. The human mind is remarkable. Our language and reasoning abilities allow us to communicate, plan, problem solve, and connect deeply with others. However, these same language abilities allow us to amplify our suffering and to trap us in our struggles even when we have everything that we need. Our language abilities allow us to be Richard Corey. When faced with difficult emotions and thoughts, we often work tirelessly to try to avoid them or eliminate them. For instance, when faced with anxiety about a failure or sadness from a loss, we may work to avoid that event and the emotional reaction that might ensue. While this may seem logical, it often leads to this paradox of suffering, and our effort to control our discomfort can actually make it grow. In other words, in the very effort to control our experiences, we propagate and grow the very demons that we're seeking to destroy. As founder Stephen Hayes has put it, the more that you don't want it, you have it. ACT was developed in the 1980s by psychologist Stephen Hayes and colleagues, and was inspired in large part from his own personal struggles with panic attacks, where he learned the power of acceptance firsthand. Now, there's an excellent TED Talk if you have a moment. You want to watch that after this video. I'll put that in the description below, where Stephen Hayes gives his reflection and what that experience was like of learning acceptance. Now, ACT isn't just about learning the acceptance of suffering, but also the acceptance of reality itself, and trying to get away from trying to control our experience through avoidance or struggling with our internal events. ACT addresses in a unique way the paradox of human cognition, where our problem solving can only go so far. Our ruminating can only help us so much. We need to get out from those cognitive processes, and ACT shows us some unique ways to do that. ACT is an evidence-based therapy that prioritizes psychological flexibility. ACT is based on the Hexaflex Model, which includes 6 essential processes: acceptance, cognitive diffusion, being present, self as context, values, and committed action. Unlike traditional therapy approaches, ACT isn't about eliminating pain, but trying to find ways to live better with that discomfort as part of a meaningful life. If you're finding this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button and comment below and tell me about what your experience is so far with ACT. Also, subscribe if you want to see more content in the future. I've also included a free resource that's an accompanying guide to the Learning ACT manual, so you can find that in the description below or at learningact.com. ACT is rooted in the contextual behavioral science, which is a framework that includes relational frame theory, behavioral principles, and evolutionary science. This ensures that ACT remains effective and adaptable. For more on CBS, check out their website, contextualscience.org, of which I'm a member. Functional contextualism is a philosophy of science that ACT uses, which views behavior in the context in which it occurs, or the action in context. If you want more on that, I do have a video that goes further in that. Each of the 6 core processes offer unique strategies to address suffering and foster growth. Together, they create a powerful, flexible model that can be tailored to individual needs. For example, being present is all about focusing our attention on the here and now and connecting with our experiences more deeply through our 5 senses. Self as context is about getting out of that narrow sense of self and cultivating a broader perspective. Value clarification helps us to identify what really matters to us. It acts as a compass for meaningful action. Finally, committed action helps us to turn those values into practical steps, enabling us to build a life that's more aligned with what really matters to us. To summarize acceptance and commitment therapy, it really has 2 parts. The first part is that acceptance work that we're doing with a client. It's the letting it go and letting it be. The second part of ACT is the commitment to a meaningful life. And that's where we're going to clarify the values and find committed action steps to turn that into a reality. Thanks for joining me today as we start this step-by-step guide in learning ACT. If you're ready to master ACT in 2025 and you're ready to learn the Hexaflex, we're going to dive deeper into that in the next video. So go ahead and click to continue learning ACT. If you'd like to learn ACT with me, consider joining my next live stream using ACT skills. This is going to be a chance where we can go deeper into some of the exercises and techniques from the manual Learning ACT. Links and details will be in the description below. This channel is here to help you learn ACT and live mindfully. If you need more resources or maybe coaching or you'd like a presentation to your group or some training, consider going over to my website, seanhardy.com, and I'd love to connect with you. Remember, your journey towards a more purposeful and mindful life begins with a single click.